Taehyung and you had been married for the past 6 months. He's always called towards you, so you spend most of your time with his friends. He's a workaholic, but gets you anything you ask for. You love him a lot, but you always feel distant towards him. You never felt that he treats you like his wife. In certain points of your relationship, he maintains a distance from you. Even after 6 months, you both never shared intimate moments. The one time you kissed each other was on your wedding day. You wanted to take your relationship to next level, but his cold gaze sometimes scare you, so you are giving him time to make a decision. You came back from college with Jimin. You rushed to the study where Taehyung was and without knocking, barged in with a cute offended pout on your face. You walked over to Taehyung, tapping your feet, making annoyed faces. Taehyung let out a chuckle at your childish behavior, and you stood right in front of the chair on which he was sitting. Taehyung, you whined. Tae pulled you in his embrace, making you sit on his lap and wrapping his arm around your waist. What's wrong? Taehyung tucked the strands of hair behind your ear and you frowned. Jimin entered the study after knocking just then. This man? You pointed at Jimin, glaring at him. Me? Jimin pointed at himself confusingly. What did he do? You started playing with Taehyung's fingers, making the most innocent pout ever. I asked him to buy me ice cream, but he didn't. You let out a dramatic whimper at end, snuggling yourself in Taehyung's chest. Tae glared at Jimin. Jimin let out a frustrating, dramatic sigh. Gosh, this girl, huh? Jimin widened his eyes, pointing at you. Taehyung, it isn't like that, let me tell. Jimin tried to explain, but you cut him off by cupping Taehyung's cheeks. No, Taehyung, don't listen to him, he's lying. Taehyung crouched his brows. Jimin defended himself. Gosh, Wyan, you're unbelievable. Oh, Taehyung, what happened was... Poor boy was cut off again. You covered Taehyung's ears with your palms, grabbing his attention. Don't listen to him, Tae. Taehyung let out a sigh at the useless argument and took your hands in his. Jimin, you continue. Jimin passed a sly smirk, but you offendedly frowned. Wyan, she asked me to buy her donuts. I did. She asked for pastries. I did brought her. But then she suddenly asked for ice cream. And when I asked for a flavor, she took a whole damn hour but still couldn't decide. Jimin spoke up all in one go and started panting heavily at the end. She's such a chaos. Jimin hid his smile and looked at you, who were fiddling with your fingers, pouting like an innocent baby. That's not it. You tried to explain while whispering, but couldn't find words to do so. Jimin, you can leave. And so Jimin did. Taehyung turned your face towards him. So, your face was hung low and Taehyung lifted up your face through his knuckle. Hey, he's just like your brother. Don't tease him, huh? You gave a slight nod. So, you admit you were wrong. You gulped, not wanting to admit. But yes, you were. Tell me, princess. You let out a sigh along with a nod. Yes. Taehyung smiled a little. Now go apologize to him, will you? But you tried to snap back. Taehyung narrowed his eyes at you. Fine, you said in a soft tone as Taehyung gently pressed his lips on your forehead. Good girl. His chuckle made you get tingle sensation in your stomach. His specs, which never failed to give you butterflies, made your mood better. You walked out of the room and spotted Jimin leaning with the kitchen counter as his arms were crossed. You stomped your feet as you walked towards him. I'm sorry, you said with your head hung low, meeting his face. It's okay, little girl. Jimin ruffed your hair, making you groan. Now go, your ice cream is in refrigerator. Your eyes shot up. In the refrigerator? Jimin again chuckled. I bought it now. You hugged him briefly. Thank you. You took your ice cream from the refrigerator. Hey, you grabbed Jimin's attention. I'll eat well, shorty. You dashed back in your room, giggling while Jimin yelled from back. Gosh, this girl. Wyan, I'm not short. Days passed. Taehyung was out of town because of business-related things, and you were at home as your exams ended. You smiled as your phone rang. Jichu? Jisoo chuckled. What happened to my muffin? You pouted, sitting on the corner of bed. Exams ended. Taehyung is out of town and I am bored. Well, that's good then. You knitted your brows in confusion. What's good then? Jisoo softly giggled with excitement. Look out of the window. You snapped back, slowly moving towards the window, and that's when your eyes fell on Jisoo holding a phone in her left hand while waving with the other one. You covered your mouth in shock. What are you doing here? She let out a loud chuckle. I missed you. Now come down quickly. Jisoo gestured along. You made a crow sign. Why? Jisoo cutely yelled. Are you coming down or should I come up? You muffled your chuckle. But Taehyung, you let out hesitantly. Yeah, you said by yourself, he's out of town. Now come down, we are going to have some real fun. You hesitated a little at first, but gave in at the end. You couldn't deny her. Plus, you were going out with Jisoo, so Taehyung shouldn't have any problem with it, right? You quickly changed your clothes and rushed outside. Well, Taehyung didn't allow you to wear skirts, but since he wasn't here, so why not? You were going for outing for quite a long while, that's why you were super excited. You didn't need to sneak out as you were now allowed to go out. The guards didn't stop you. It was easy. Jisoo crushed you into a tight hug as you came out. My honey bun, you let out a chuckle. Let's go now, you proposed. You both first went to amusement park. Jisoo was wearing frog-eyed hairband while you were wearing bunny-eared one. You took all the rides, laughing and giggling, reminding you of olden days. Time for clubbing, Jisoo said, jumping in excitement, making your eyes widen a little. Club? But it's already night and Jisoo upsetly pouted. Yeah, Wayan, we are having fun after so long. Please don't say no. She was right in her place too. But clubbing, you had a bad feeling about it. Wayana, my baby, my muffin, my cupcake. Choco pie, let's go, she says, swinging your hand, whining like a child. However, you were biting your corner of your lips at the bad feeling you were having. But Jisoo, she dramatically started crying, making your eyes soften, and you finally gave in. Jisoo hugged you tightly, crushing her body in yours. On the other hand, Taehyung came home eagerly to hug you, to wash away all his tiredness. But his smile faded as he wasn't able to find you anywhere. His smile changed to a grin and lips knitted in worry. The poor boy searched for you in the backyard too. But no, you weren't there, making him bite his lower lip. Asking the guards about it, his heart surely felt better to hear that you were out with Jisoo. But it was already late night and you weren't home. Taehyung dialed your number, but you weren't picking up. So he decided to wait for you for some time, hoping you would come back soon by yourself. But little did he know that what was gonna happen next. You reached the crazily flooded club and easily got the permission to enter. It was hella crazy inside. It was crowded and people were dancing like there's no tomorrow. Loud music was playing, bursting your eardrums. However, some people were making out in the crowd too. It was hectic in there. Jisoo grabbed your wrist and dragged you to the counter. So, she wiggled her brows. No alcohol. You shook your head as no, making her frown and roll her eyes. You're no fun. You still shook your head as no, and this time you won. 2 cocktails, please, Jisoo said to the bartender, making you smile, scrunching your nose. As you gulped it down, Jisoo took your wrist and dragged you to the dance floor. The real fun starts now. Jisoo started dancing, moving her shoulders and waist to the rhythm, swinging her arms in air along. She surely looked like a goddess, and those party lights kept flashing here and there. You slowly started to get comfortable and moved to the beats too. That's my girl. Suddenly, you felt a pat on your shoulder, making you turn around. Wayan? You smiled at the person in front of you. It was Bacon. It's you? What are you doing here? Bacon asked, shockingly, making you chuckle, and looked at you from head to toe. You look hot. Bacon complimented, making you blush a little. Thank you, and you don't look bad yourself. Jisoo cleared her throat to grab your attention. Ah yes, Bacon, she's my friend Jisoo, and Jisoo is Bacon, my college friend. They both waved at each other. Are you alone? Jisoo asked, making Bacon pot and nod his head. Well then, you wanna have company? Bacon smiled. I would love to. Welcome then. The three of them started dancing crazily, laughing and giggling along. Jisoo excused herself for the restroom and you were left with Bacon. Just then, you noticed some boys staring at you from a distance, checking you out. You felt uncomfortable noticing their lustful gazes. Bacon towered himself in front of you. Don't look at them, Bacon said, trying to make you comfortable, and you nodded in response. Soon after, you didn't realize that Bacon's hands gently rested on your waist as you were too much lost in beat. Plus, it was crazily crowded, so you couldn't actually feel them. Your eyes opened as the music changed from classic to rock, making you cover your ears at the loud sound. Scared? Bacon chuckled as he said in your ear, but then you were turned harshly by your elbow. Your heart felt a sting as your whole existence trembled seeing the person in front of you. It was none other than Taehyung himself. Taehyung's eyes turned dark and jaw clenched, veins popping out as he noticed Bacon's hands on your waist and when his lips barely touched your neck. That was when Taehyung lost it. He rushed towards you, grabbing you by your arm, turning you towards him. Your lips parted in shock, feet froze to the ground and eyes widened, seeing him there in front of you with Bacon. You looked at Bacon and then at the furious Taehyung. That was what you feared the most. You were wearing a short dress, came without his permission, and that too at the club, and you were caught with a boy. This wasn't gonna end in a good way. Taehyung tightened his grip on your arm and started to drag you. But he was pulled back as he heard a voice. Let her go. Taehyung wasn't able to drag you as Bacon held your other wrist. Taehyung gritted his teeth, giving him a deadly glare. You looked at Bacon and then at Taehyung, not knowing what to do. Right now, you were stuck between these two men. I said, let her go. Bacon yelled in a daring tone, pushing you towards himself. But Taehyung pulled you harshly towards him. Taehyung pulled your body behind him to come in front of you, still getting a hold of your wrist, making you hiss in pain. Don't you touch her. Taehyung growled at Bacon, pointing his finger at his chest. Taehyung clenched his jaw, narrowing his eyes at Bacon, who carelessly spit it out with the same tone. What will you do? She's not yours or something. Taehyung's grip on your wrist tightened. However, you were lost in your own thoughts. What is gonna happen now? What will Taehyung possibly do? You were quite aware of what Taehyung can do or can't, and that's what you feared. Kim Taehyung was able to do anything. By anything, you really mean it. Taehyung bumped into Bacon, pushing him back from his torn body. She's my wife and she belongs to me, you jerk. Stay away from her. Bacon seemed shocked from his words. His lips parted in shock and a lump formed in his throat, making his throat dry and lump was hard to gulp. Wife? Don't spout nonsense. Bacon grabbed Taehyung by his collar, making Taehyung lose his patience, and there he lost it as Bacon dared to glare back at him. Taehyung released your wrist and grabbed his collar as he was about to punch him. But you were quick to react. You hugged his waist from the front. Enough, please. Taehyung, don't. You pleaded with a shaky voice, making Taehyung spit curses as he harshly pushed him back. He's your husband? Bacon asked, with a completely shocked and disappointed expression, pointing at Taehyung, making you give a slight nod. Taehyung grabbed you by your arm. Stay away from her. Taehyung growled at him before dragging you outside with him. You hissed in pain as Taehyung pushed you in the car, slamming the door on your face and sitting on the driver's seat himself. You were about to speak as Taehyung seated at driver's seat, but before that Taehyung yelled, "Not a single word, YN." And that was enough to shut your mouth. Your hands started trembling at the thought of what was about to come. Taehyung clenched his jaw, looking like a sharp blade in night darkness. The light from the dim-lighted streetlights was able to reveal his face in utter darkness, at times giving more scare vibes. His dark aura was enough to send shivers down your spine, but he gritted his teeth time to time, making you gulp hard. You started to rub your hands against each other as fear started to cleanse your heart. Even though you had feelings for him, but his anger after defying you was on another level. The ride, which seemed like an eternity, finally came to an end as Taehyung rushed towards your side, but Chiu scooted in, not wanting to come out, seeing his furious expression. He seemed like a mad dog. He won't just bark now, he would bite, and that was even scary. Taehyung tried to push you out by grabbing your wrist, but you pulled back and scooted in, even more, shaking your head as no. Why? Taehyung growled in a daring tone as tears formed in your eyes, hearing his dominant growl. Taehyung forcefully grabbed your wrist and pulled you towards himself, making you land on his hard chest. Taehyung lifted you up in air and threw you on his shoulder, making you hit his back with your tiny fist, from which he was unbothered as ever. As usual, it was late night and the maids were long gone. However, the guards were at the entrance and you were alone with Taehyung. Taehyung carried you to the bedroom. However, tears streamed down your eyes, hitting his back with all your strength. Taehyung, put me down. Let me go. Taehyung, put me down. Leave me, Taehyung, please. Your breath stopped as you reached the bedroom. Taehyung kicked the door closed with his foot and threw you on the bed, making you crawl back immediately. His eyes were dark as hell and his fists were clenched as veins were popping out. You started to cry even more loudly, hugging your knees seeing him like that. That was the only thing you could do. You squeezed your tiny self in the corner of room, curling up in a ball, crying like there's no tomorrow. There was a long silence which was filled with your cries and sobs, a silence which was making you scared even more by every past second. Wayan, Taehyung yelled out your name, making you slowly lift your head up, still sobbing along with hiccups. Taehyung was standing still on the same spot, not moving an inch. His fists were still clenched, but then your heart shattered into pieces as your eyes fell on his face. Tears streaming down his eyes as he kept whimpering, moving his shoulder up and down along. Your brows knitted in utter confusion. Why is he crying? Taehyung bit his lower lip as he spoke up while hiccuping. What do you want me to do then? You harshly gulped, seeing him sob and stutter like that. Your heart ached seeing him in that state. The last time Taehyung tried to force himself on you, you gave him a silent treatment as you were too much traumatized by it. The boy felt helpless at this point. He didn't know what to do. You don't listen to him, and when he gets angry, things become worse. Taehyung tried to show his love to you, but never got a response. It hurted him too, but he still waited and waited and waited, hoping you would love him one day, try to understand him. Poor boy just wanted to be loved too. Taehyung sat on the bed on his knees right across you. What do you want me to do then? Taehyung face-palmed himself, bursting into tears, and your eyes were fixed on him, not really knowing what you should do. I love you and want to spend my life with you. I tried to show my best side to you. I didn't ask for a lot. I just... Taehyung inhaled a sharp breath, but again burst into tears. Tears also rolled down your eyes at the genuine confession. He seemed to say the truth as he wasn't avoiding eye contact. Why don't you ever listen to me? I don't like it when you're with guys. You managed to speak in defense in low tone. But he's just a friend. Taehyung's teary eyes pierced into yours. Then why his hands were on your waist? He said, pressing the words, making you crouch your brows. On my waist? Taehyung let out a scoff in disbelief, still denying it. You don't like it when I touch you, when I'm your husband. And you're okay if he touches you when he's your so-called friend? Taehyung almost yelled at you and then tilted his head, wiping his tears with the backside of his hands. You were still in utter confusion, trying to process everything. After a long break, Taehyung broke up the silence, breaking your heart in pieces. His words made your heart ache and soul left your body. It felt like something precious was snatched away from you. You know what, Wayan? Leave. Just leave. I'm letting you go. You're free to go. Jisoo came from the restroom only to see Baekhyun standing alone in the crazy crowd with his head hung low. She rushed towards him and she didn't see you around anywhere. Baekhyun, she called out his name but didn't get a response. Baekhyun? This time, Jisoo shook him all over to get him back at his senses. Huh? Jisoo worriedly asked, Where is Wayan? Baekhyun let out a sigh. Her husband took her away. Jisoo's eyes widened as she grabbed his collar. Husband? You mean Taehyung? Bacon gave a slight nod and pulled himself away from her grip. I'm leaving. With that, he left while Jisoo was in utter shock. He rushed outside and took her phone from the car. She dialed Jin's number immediately. Yes, love? Jisoo cutted him off. Jin? She let out a plead, making him worried. Yeah, what's wrong? Jisoo explained him the whole thing. You do know? Jin let out a sigh. Where are you now? Jisoo gulped. I'm still at the club, Jin hummed. Okay, then I'll come pick you up. Jin and Jisoo came to Seoul together in the morning as Jin had some personal affairs to take care of. What? Then what about YN? Jin pursed his lips together. It's their personal matter now, Chu. If we get involved, then things might get worse. Jisoo bit her lips. But it's because of me. Jin sighed again. Jisoo, let them take care of it. Believe me, everything will be alright. Jisoo let out a nod in understanding. Fine, Jin smiled. I'll be there then, Jisoo hummed and cut off the call. You know what, YN? Leave. Just leave. I'm letting you go. You're free to go. Your heart shattered into tiny bits as you heard those words from his mouth. It felt like someone stabbed you right in your heart. Taehyung gave you the biggest happiness by confessing his feelings for you, and at the same time completely ripped you apart asking you to leave him. This isn't what you wanted. You both didn't want this. Tears kept streaming down your eyes as you were staring in his expressionless eyes, which became hard to read. He didn't want to let you go, and you didn't want to leave either. But then all this. You both were tearing up, staring into each other's eyes, trying to read what's written in the deep ocean inside. All of a sudden, Taehyung took your hands in his and spoke up, bringing his face closer to yours. I promise, I'll never hurt you. I'll leave this mafia work too. If you want, YN. I don't want you to love me back, but just stay with me. His last word came like a whisper as he joined his forehead with yours, bursting into tears. However, your mind was still stuck over what happened. A moment ago, he asked you to leave, and now he is asking you to stay. What's going on? Your heart flattered when Taehyung made those promises. Those are the things you exactly wished for. A wedding, a normal and happy life with your loved one. That's what every girl dreams of. A loving husband who spends his whole life with you. Getting all together and things like that is what everyone wishes for. You closed your eyes, letting your tears fall out of your eyes, feeling each other's breath only. The silence was peaceful, a reassuring, a heartwarming, a healing one. Hearing no words from you, Taehyung finally gave up. He moved back and let out the words in between his hiccups. I'll come back in the morning. Leave before I change my mind. Taehyung was taking deep breaths, probably trying to hold in tears. He turned around slowly, creaking back to the edge of the bed. That's when you reacted. You loved him and can't let him go, no matter what he did and how he is. You love him and he loves you. Nothing else should matter at this moment. You didn't want to live in regret by not confessing your feelings. You also wanted to grow old with him. Both of you wanted the same thing. You back-hugged him, making him stop at his place. Your face nuzzled in his neck and you called out his name. Taehyung, as you burst into tears at the thought of leaving him. He was just like air. You couldn't breathe without him. Taehyung quickly turned around hearing your cries. What's wrong? He cupped your face, sitting on his knees with knitted brows. You shook your head as you let out a chuckle while crying. Taehyung's brow crushed even more. Taehyung let his hand slip down. You are happy to leave me? The boy had the most pitiful expression on his face at this moment. It seemed like he would burst out any moment. You quickly cupped his face as those words escaped his mouth in a bitter tone. Your fingers under his ears while your thumbs brushed his wet cheeks. No, you fool. You took a deep breath. I love you too, you said, making eye contact, and the expression on his face was priceless. His cheeks lifted up as more tears escaped his eyes. You do? The boy asked, letting out a whimper, not believing what you said. I know, you're just saying it to not make me feel bad. His head hung low as he let out an upset sigh, wiping his tears with the backside of his hands. Not knowing what to do, without thinking much, you pressed your lips on his, making his eyes pop out at your sudden movement. His hands cupped your face and coordinated, not wanting to hold back. You both kissed each other like there's no tomorrow, tears still streaming down your eyes. You broke the kiss soon after and attached your forehead with his. I love you, Taehyung. Yes, I love you and I won't ever leave you. I am and I will forever be yours. I'm yours, Taehyung. Taehyung let out a soft chuckle at your words. You didn't know either to laugh or to cry at this moment. It felt like the whole world stopped around you. And the person you love loves you back. That's the most beautiful feeling in the world. The world is cruel, but love is delight. The two of you together only can make your lives heaven. Taehyung hesitantly let his body fall into your embrace like a little kid scared of something. He feared of losing you and that's why he was like that. But knowing you loved him too, he felt like the most blessed person in the world. Taehyung nuzzled his face in the crook of your neck and you let your face nuzzle in his. After a long heartwarming moment, Taehyung spoke up. Don't forget your punishment. It is still there. Taehyung said all of a sudden. What? Taehyung let out a chuckle at your reaction as he nuzzled himself more into you. You slapped his arm playfully. Don't you tease me ever again, you said in a strict tone, and Taehyung broke the hug, meeting your eyes as a red tint which was already on your cheeks turned into beautiful crimson red color, making Taehyung smile widely. I'm not teasing, princess. You crossed your arms as you harshly gulped, avoiding eye contact. Taehyung leaned closer to you as you shook your head, moving back. Yeah, don't you? You were now laid on the bed while Taehyung's figure hovering above you. Yes, no, yes, no, no, yes, Gocha. You covered your mouth as soon as yes came out from your mouth. Taehyung had a white smirk plastered on his face as he started to tickle you, making you giggle loudly. Taehyung, don't! Out of the blue, Taehyung smashed his lips on yours, making your eyes wide open at his sudden action. His hand cupped your face as he was slowly changing patterns. His lips moved on yours in a gentle way. Not able to hold yourself back, you kissed back, making his cheeks lift up. Taehyung, your hands unconsciously grabbed on his muscular arms as he completely unzipped the dress. It's gonna be a long night, princess. Please subscribe and thank you for watching.